Welcome to the Trill and BA Show. I'm your host, Felicia and Rose Anuha, aka the trillest MBA you will ever know. And I'm here to help you survive and thrive in corporate America by giving you the truth and being as real as only I can be. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I am so excited. I have with me in studio today a very special guest who we will get to soon. And today we're going to be talking some very personal lessons that we have learned in our corporate careers. But I have the president of the Black Marketers Association of America, Natalie Gullatt. Natalie is an Atlanta native. She is a marketing badass. She saw a need in our community and she grabbed the bull by the horns and said, I'm going to help fix this. And she started her organization some years ago. And I was fortunate enough to meet her when I moved to Atlanta. And we've been pretty much thick as thieves ever since then. Like I told her, she's stuck with me. So this is what it is. So, but before we get into Natalie telling us the story of how her manager lied to her, we first are going to have our Corporate Warrior Spotlight. Today's Corporate Warrior is Darla Price, president of Ogilvy, New York. Darla was recently named president of Ogilvy, New York. She will be responsible for all aspects of the New York office's business across advertising, public relations, experience, consulting, and health capabilities. Darla Price has over 2 decades of experience working across capabilities, categories, and clients, including Microsoft, Kroger, Olay, Johnson & Johnson, Home Goods, Lockheed Martin, and General Mills. She made history in 2021 when she became the first Black female president of DDB New York. Over the past 2 years, Darla's leadership helped deliver growth for DDB by fostering a more inclusive and representative culture while producing award-winning creative work for clients. Go figure, diversity, driving better work. I mean, we know. But prior to joining DDB, Darla spent 7 years in executive roles at McCann, including a global lead for its Microsoft business, where the brand won Clio Advertiser of the Year. That's a big deal. She also served as president of McCann's San Francisco office, 215 McCann, where she was responsible for the Xbox brand. Earlier in her career, Darla's natural curiosity for the world took her abroad, where she led key accounts for Saatchi & Saatchi in Singapore and Mumbai. In 2022, Darla was named to Ad Age's list of leading women and a POC Top 50 Black leader. Additionally, she was named an Ad Color Change Agent nominee in 2020. Darla is also an executive coach, avid mentor, and future of work and DEI advocate who has a passion for helping young people of color be successful in the advertising industry. I don't know Darla personally, but I would love to have her on the show. And if any of y'all know her, y'all tell her that we gave her a shout out on the Trill NBA show for being a corporate warrior. Keep doing what you do, girl. Clearly, you are kinfolk, and we love to see you climb. All right. You know, you're the first person in studio, so we're going to figure this out. Okay. So, guys, I'm so excited. Natalie is here. We had a fabulous weekend with the Shades of Marketing event here in Los Angeles. And I convinced her to stay a couple days and help me with my business. That's what I did. And she's like, okay. And then I didn't have no groceries to feed her. I'm a terrible hostess. Terrible hostess. So if y'all think y'all gonna come stay in my house and get fed, you might want to think again, huh, Natalie?
No, you're good. I promise I'm not hungry at all.
I'm like, are you hungry? Let's go get something to eat.
No. No, I don't want to eat anymore. I'm full.
I'm going to feed you.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, God. So listen, a couple weeks ago, Nellie gave me a call and she was like, girl, this mofo done lied to me. And I was like, wait, you breaking up with my friend? Hold on, what happened? She's like, no, this is not about my boyfriend. This is about my manager. And I said, well, it's all dating. I don't know. And I said, you got to come on the show and tell this story. So y'all get some popcorn, sew your wig down good, okay? Listen, because this is a hell of a tale. One you probably know well too often, but we're going to tell it. This is live and direct. Thank you, Natalie, for coming to the show. Natalie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me and listening to my story.
So we're going to talk about, first, this segment, we're going to talk about the honeymoon phase.
Oh, okay.
So let's talk about how you, can we say the name? Did you sign papers?
I did not.
Oh, good. We can call names.
Well, I don't want to call the names.
I mean, okay, well, describe the type of company that you were at.
So it's not a secret. I'm sure somebody will find out. They'll easily guess the name of it. But just to be respectful and professional, we won't call any names today. And I worked for a well-known B2B or business-to-business software as a service SaaS company that offers marketing tools to small, medium businesses and has a really large conference in September. Okay, that's enough. People should know exactly what company I'm talking about.
And it's not Salesforce. Just to clear it up, that's who it's not.
I mean, yeah, it's not Salesforce. I've never worked at Salesforce, but like I said, if my LinkedIn is public, so people will probably know really quickly who the story is about.
We didn't call your name.
No, I won't call any names today.
But we will tell this story. So the cool thing about this story, it is definitely the quintessential love story in the beginning. So let's talk about the honeymoon phase of being with this company. Let's talk about your courtship. Like, what was the interview process like? Do you remember when you applied for the job? What happened?
Okay, so I actually didn't apply for the job. My manager, who this story is about, slid in my LinkedIn DMs.
Oh, he came for you.
Yes.
You didn't even send for him.
No, I did not. It goes down in the DMs, the LinkedIn DMs, and reached out based off of my profile. And I still have that DM buried. Yes, I do have the DM because when I was in my interview process, so the way this was unique, he approached me about a role, but they had about 4 roles open at the time. And when I talked to the recruiter after he reached out to me and asked me, was I interested? I said, sure. I never turned down someone reaching out to me for a job. I always say, let me see what it's about. And so after I said, sure, I'll talk, he sent me to the recruiter, and the recruiter asked me about my background and said, I will be a fit for all 4 to 5 of these roles, which meant I basically had to go through the interview process for all 4 or 5 of these roles.
Wait.
Yes.
Girl. You didn't, well, I didn't know you then, so. Yeah.
We knew each other, but we didn't talk that deep. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know
talk that much to where looking back on it, I'm like, man, so much growth in so little time.
Listen. So, okay. So as Natalie tells this tale, I'm going to pause and say, if you see this happening to you, you need to drive for clarity at the very beginning. So if there's 4 or 5 roles, oh, you'd be great for each role. Okay, well, let me tell you which role I'm most interested in, and let's focus on that one role. And see, here's the thing. Don't be afraid that, well, if I don't get that role, then I won't be in the company. That's bullshit because they showed you up all these roles. Why are you going to have to interview for all these roles? And all those roles are not the one, okay? This isn't making a bench. That's different. You make the bench with companies, not roles in one company. That's like dating a man with multiple personalities. Why would you do that?
I don't date a man that has multiple personalities.
Exactly. None of us should. Okay? Got it. Now, Natalie, now that we have that tidbit, if you find yourself in that situation, don't necessarily be so flattered, but think through like, no, what's the one role I really, really want? And let's focus, guys. Let's all focus. Get the company focused, right? But that also is a bit of a red flag, which means it's probably a shit show. Even though they could be a nice people and all that, it's still a shit show. Okay? Okay, now, Natalie, back to the story. So you're interviewing for these 4 jobs. And then how did they decide which job they wanted you for?
So the process essentially was I applied for, like, in general, to work there after I did the screen with the interviewer. And, of course, I had to do an assignment, which I'm usually anti-assignments, but this assignment took me maybe 10, 15 minutes because I just knew the role very well. And I said, okay, great. And then you interview with all these people because I had 4 and now I'm listening to my colleagues or past colleagues now. They only interview for maybe 1 or 2. Some other people interview for 1. I interviewed for all of them and they were kind of surprised, like, wow, you got asked to interview for all of them. And my top choice was the one that was originally what I was approached about.
Okay.
And so I interviewed for that one first, and then they gave me like the other 3 or 4, which meant back-to-back interviews, maybe 2, maybe 3 hours in a day. Yes, I was still working while I was interviewing. So imagine me trying to find 3 hours out of my day to interview with them. And they kind of asked me what was my preference after speaking to everyone. And I did eventually choose one after learning it. And I said, I think I want to do this particular role, which ironically, the hiring manager who was in my DMs, he said, I thought you would be the best fit for this role too. So it was just kind of a match there. You know the story. So of course.
I mean, I'll be forgetting, but also I know the whole story and I know the end and you know how I feel.
Yeah, when you learn the end of the story, it's like, wait, how did we get here from here in just like 2 years? Like, how did it get? And honestly, the story turned left really fast in less than 2 years from my experience. But that means there was something going on for those 2 years. And I was in the dark for 2 years?
Oh, no, we're going to get started.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I'm jumping ahead.
Okay. So you got an offer. And so you took the offer.
Yep.
Now, did all these job descriptions, did you save them somewhere?
I saved the job descriptions. Yes.
Very good.
I always save my job descriptions.
Always save the job descriptions. If you learn anything from this podcast, this segment, every time you apply for the job, copy the job description, not the link to it. Print, screen, or
highlight
cut and paste, highlight it.
Don't screen grab it.
But yeah, and then make sure you PDF it and put it in a file somewhere so you have it. So that when you get the job and you get the offer. So Natalie, tell us about when you got the offer. Was it the same job that you had agreed to in the offer letter? Had they changed it at that point?
So let's talk about the job description. The job description was the shortest job description I've ever had or seen in my entire life. It was maybe 4 sentences?
Oh.
No bullets. It was the shortest thing I've ever seen in my life. So that was a problem.
So it was a vague job.
Very vague job. They had a lot of writing, but it was just about, in general, visionary. It seemed like a senior VP or a CMO wrote, this is my vision. And then they gave me a paragraph of what they want the role to be, which should have also been kind of a red flag because that means they didn't know what they wanted the people in these roles to do, because it was also on the same page with all the other descriptions.
Oh.
None of them were separate. So everyone saw, that's why everyone was kind of like, oh, wow, you interviewed for all of these roles versus they only interviewed or 1 or 2 or were even asked to interview for 1 or 2, meaning they felt, and it's kind of the case, because I have such a diverse background with my experience, I'm not a very linear marketer. I have a broad experience. They're like, oh, you could fit in that comms role because you've done comms several times before. And I was like,
is that what you signed up for?
No. Because afterwards, like once I got the offer, I knew I was going to do that merchandising role or what have you, which is a weird term to say the least, because I don't work in B2C.
Right.
I work in B2B, but that was the term they gave the role. And literally like, okay, I have it. I have the offer, try to negotiate, didn't work out in my favor at all, but still try anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it was time for me to get started, I never actually received any more descriptions of the job I was going to be doing.
You never
per se.
got a job description?
Yeah, to this day.
Okay. Did the title change from what they put in the offer letter?
No, the title didn't necessarily change. So here's something that I've learned about job families. So if I'm in marketing and I'm a marketing manager, that's different from a manager, marketing. Marketing manager is an IC, an individual contributor. Manager, marketing means you are a people manager. I have been an IC or individual contributor. I'll just say IC to keep it short. I've been an IC for 7, 8 years after my MBA. I've been a manager for 6, 7 years. So at this point, if I'm going to continue being an IC, I should be higher in my career, maybe a senior manager instead of a manager. This is a manager role. I was okay with that because the company was so well known. And here's the kicker. I asked the questions prior to getting my offer. What is the process for getting promoted? That is important to note. Mm-hmm. I asked that before I got the offer. So it's the consistent theme you're going to hear through this story. I asked the process. I asked, what does it mean to get promoted, to move to another role,
and you asked the hiring manager.
I asked the hiring manager. I asked the recruiter. I asked everyone I could talk to about process for promotion. And I was told things kind of like, well, you're not eligible to move to another team or get promoted at least for a year. And every time I kept asking things, it was like, after a year, we reevaluate, we look at these things, et cetera, et cetera. Now, knowing what I know now, that's not true. You can get promoted within a year.
Yeah. So
that's not true.
Okay.
You can do a lot of things.
You learned that, and we're going to take a quick break, but I'm going to come in with the tip. So there's what's written in your company's policies about their practices and procedures. There's standard operating procedure documents. HR has these. Your operations people have these, right? So there's what's written and what's said, and then there's what's actually done. And there's always an exception. And so my goal is for people that listen to this show, and I work with, in my group coaching and my individual coaching, that you are the exception. That is the goal. That's one of the goals we have. Now, when we get back from the break, we're going to discuss with young Natalie, some of the red flags that she saw in hindsight. Because sometimes they're red flags, but when you're dealing with fuckboys, sometimes you don't want to see the red flags. And understand, these companies, they're fuckboys. So when we get back from the break. Hey there, you travel enthusiast. Are you tired of struggling to find hair and skincare products that cater to your unique needs while on the go? Look no further than blacktravelbox.com. Black Travel Box is your one-stop shop for travel-sized natural hair and skincare products, specifically curated for Black travelers like us. No more settling for generic products that don't work for your hair type and skin tone. Whether you're jet setting to a tropical island or embarking on a cross-country road trip or simply on a work trip, Black Travel Box has you covered with their convenient and TSA-approved travel kits. Plus, by supporting Black Travel Box, you're not just getting high-quality product, but you're also supporting a Black-owned business that is dedicated to promoting inclusivity in the travel industry. So, travel in confidence and style with Black Travel Box. Visit blacktravelbox.com now and get ready to slay your next trip. Don't let your beauty routine suffer while you explore the world. Happy travels, my beautiful melanated people. And if you enter the code JETSET, you will get a special discount on blacktravelbox.com. Now listen, guys, I have to be honest. I just ordered my first set of blacktravelbox.com products. Even though I have been friends with the founder for some time now, it never dawned on me that, hey, bitch, you could actually buy some of these products.
You probably should.
I've heard great things about them. I just always check my bag. So I put my big things in. But I'm starting to learn how to pare down. And I really realize, like, I need to get little products.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, I'm so excited about this body butter that's coming.
Body butter?
Baby.
I love body butter.
Baby. And it smells good. Like, I'm so excited to go on my next trip with my Black Travel Box items. My soap, my stuff to wash my hair when I go swimming. I have braids. So there's like good soap. Yeah, like I'm really excited. So kudos to Black Travel Box, the crew over there, for looking out for us as we jet set once again post-pandemic. Because I'm in these streets this summer. I'm in these streets. All right, let's get back to the show. All right, we're back with Natalie, president of BMAA, Black Marketers Association of America, but also just a marketing badass. And she's here to share her twisted tale that just ended of shenanigans and bullfoolery with the damn fuckboy corporation that shall not be named by us in this moment, but Google. Now, I remember I told you that you weren't making enough money. I was like, wait, what you make? Yes. Girl, you got to be kidding. You got an MBA? Girl, these people playing you. You got to get the fuck out. Like, I'm sure I said it that way.
No lies.
Yeah, I said it that way. So I want to talk about, what was your first red flag? Like, what was the first inkling when you started seeing things? What was it? Do you remember?
Oh, when I started at the company. So I started, it wasn't after the pandemic, and it wasn't during the pandemic. It's like in that awkward moment where
we was outside a little bit, and then you were in Atlanta, so you was outside anyway.
I was not outside. Well, everybody else was outside.
People was outside anyway.
People were outside because, I'm a homebody. I stay in the house.
Right.
But it was kind of like, I don't know if you remember that period it was an employees market. And basically any employee could pretty much go wherever they wanted. They were just like making out like fat rats. But it was weird, right? So it was this really small window where employers had the advantage, and then it flipped really quickly to where employees had the advantage, which meant I had taken the job and I had to take a pay cut, and I had my marketing manager title, and then essentially people were coming in after me, and we're going to discount. So in B2B, they don't care about your MBA. They don't care about your graduate degrees. They only care about user experience. So in this instance, put the education to the side because it's about experience. The red flag, I said, okay, you know what? I will just magically forget I have an MBA. Magically, for 2 seconds. We're going to all forget it for 2 seconds.
I'm not going to answer questions that I learned from being in my MBA program either, but that's neither here nor there. Sorry, go ahead.
We'll get to that later too. But basically, people were coming in with higher titles. Remember, I was like senior marketing managers or whatever marketing managers that were higher with less years of experience. I have like 6-7 years. There are people with 3 years, 4 years.
And what was their explanation again? That your MBA didn't matter. It was your years of experience that mattered? That's what they had said?
That's what was said. And I'm going, so then why am I... Like, what's the standard? Right? Like, what is the standard for if you're a marketing manager? How many years of experience should you have? And mind you, I asked this question of several people.
And what'd they say?
So when I asked my hiring manager or my manager, he didn't know and suggested I ask HR. Fine, whatever. I will go and ask HR. I go and ask HR, and HR, originally the compensation team said, you know what, this is a good point. We should really look into this. Cool. Asked one of the HR people, analyst, director, okay, you're right. We really should go back and really evaluate, because it does seem like there are some discrepancies, and pay equity is a thing, especially at this company, because they build their employer brand on it. But when I got to my HRBP, she was the one that kind of pissed me off the most. She gaslit the hell out of me. Mm-hmm. Basically, I told her, I said, well, if I have 7 years post-MBA experience, he or she, whatever, I don't remember anymore. But basically, the person was like, well, yeah, that doesn't seem right. And then the response was, well, you've only been in this role for about a year, or you've only done this role. I said, excuse me, please don't play with my intelligence. Job families don't work that way. And I say that because I said, you are getting particular and saying, I've only done this particular role for maybe a year or two, or I've only done this area, this specific niche of marketing for that long. I said, but HR does not make their job families based off of niches in marketing. You based it off of years of experience in marketing.
Right.
That's the same with even the CMO. So even if you want to say, well, I have to talk to the CMO, which the HRBP said, I said, that's not how your job families work. Please don't insult my intelligence. But of course, nothing happened. And it was just like, okay, well, we'll just have to, kind of look into it. It was a mess.
And they never followed up with you?
Absolutely not.
Exactly. All right. But then let's talk about one of the most egregious things that happened. And do you remember when you sought out some advice from a Black person that was higher up than you?
So I will say I love this person to this day. Mm-hmm. However, no one's perfect.
No.
So
I mean, there are people who go to Texas A&M, but
well, I'm from Georgia, but I did not go to Texas.
It's not your fight.
It's not. I'm not getting into that. But one of the things that kind of alarmed me, that kind of made me feel like maybe I'm speaking too much, it made me want to silence myself, maybe a little bit of imposter syndrome, was I said, I think I came into this company at too low of a level. I said that. And she said to me, remember to stay humble. And I kind of was feeling a little, initially I was confused, shocked. And then I went, oh no, maybe I'm saying something wrong. Especially because it was someone who looked like me, supported me, mentoring me, and basically told me I needed to be humble. And it kind of hurt. I'm not going to lie. My feelings was hurt.
Do you remember the exact thing that you said?
I think I came in too low. I think my job title is too low. I think I should be higher.
What was said before you said that?
So let me give a little clarification and context.
Give more context.
I was talking to this person in general, about getting mentorship and guidance. And I know a lot of BMAA members talk a lot about how do I get a mentor? And I always tell them, I was like, you can get a mentor any type of way. You don't have to sign up to get a formal mentorship. You can get a mentor unofficially, long as you build relationships. Don't focus on having a mentor title. I give in mentorships unofficially to people all the time just because of giving advice. But this was a actual mentor from a program. Talked to this person, and this kind of stuck with me, and I probably should talk to her about it, to be completely honest, and will talk to her. But essentially, I wanted to get advice. I always was like, I want to get advice about how I can grow as a marketer, grow as a person, etc. And my concern was that I came in too low, and basically how to fix that. I came in too low. I have so many years of experience. And unfortunately, I see other people coming in. I mentioned that I see other people coming in with all of this, I don't want to say privilege, but they have the titles. And I don't have that. And yet I have more. I'm bringing more to the table. And the first response is, remember to be humble. I don't remember much was said after that, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, I definitely would have blacked out. I definitely, and I probably would have lost my job.
I didn't lose my job because, again, when it's someone that looks like you say something it's one thing when, let's just be honest, white people say it, or people who don't look like you, other people of color included.
Right.
Because here's the deal. Let's just be real. I had a history of not working with a ton of Black people.
Right.
I have not worked with a Black marketer who was higher than me in my career. You're higher than me, but I've never worked with you in corporate. Right. I know of you. I know of, let's just shout out Tia. Tia's amazing.
What's up, boo?
Right? Love Tia. But I haven't had an opportunity to work with Tia ever in corporate. That's the same. So this is my first time.
Sorry.
Exactly. So this is my first time doing it. So when I have this in front of me and you get that response, you're like, whoa. You kind of have a mixed bag of emotions to where maybe I did something wrong because this person looks like me and cares about me and is not, you know what I mean? Like, I still think she does care about me. I won't say that she doesn't. Again, I give that grace of understanding that.
You're a beautiful human.
Thank you.
But let me tell you, little mentor, something real quick. That's your relationship. And I don't need to have a relationship with this heifer. Let me tell you something. Black leaders. Stop inflicting your previous trauma on the younger folks, okay? Stop trying to haze them. Stop giving them fucked up advice like be humble. When they're coming to you with a legitimate, I have pay discrepancy concerns. Because this isn't just about, I think I didn't come in at the right level, they're not paying me correctly. Because this is why you then get the report that Black women make way less than our counterparts. And you bitches are out there perpetuating this shit with your fucked up psychology. Go to therapy. Fix yourself. And I don't know who your person is, but I hope she hears this because she needs to hear it. And if I offend you, good, because I want to. How dare you tell somebody to stay humble when they're telling you, hey, I need help trying to figure out how to correct this wrong that this company has done to me. That's just like, if I'm dating some dude and he's trash and you tell me, but Felicia, you know, he's not so bad. Maybe you should humble yourself.
No.
Exactly.
No.
So, ma'am, fix yourself. Okay? Thanks. Now, the lesson from this that I will say is that we need to be careful who we get advice from, and we need to be very discerning because, like Natalie said, I believe this person had the best of intentions, trying to help you maybe just keep your job, right?
Maybe.
Because everybody has fear. And this is the thing. You cannot make fear-based decisions. You cannot stay with this fuckboy of a company because you're afraid of the alternatives. It is what it is. And so you just got to keep maximizing your money if you're not going to play the long game at the company. Like if you're not trying to be at the tippy top, then you got to keep moving around because you got to maximize your coins. So don't let imposter syndrome stop you from getting your money, and don't let bad advice stop you from fighting for what you're worth, what you're really worth in the market. And if they don't want to see your worth, another company will. But more about that when we get back from the break. Hey, Natalie. I had a good time at Shades of Marketing this weekend.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you.
I'm the MC with the most, I found out.
You were really good at it, and we really appreciate it. So thank you for doing it.
So now there's more tour stops.
There are. Oh,
and who's going to MC? Your girl gonna MC the Shades of Marketing.
Is that the Shades of Marketing theme song?
Shades of Marketing. So listen, guys. Shades of Marketing. Next tour stop is
Washington, D.C., the greater DMV area. I'm so excited to go to the DMV because, as Felicia said, I'm an Atlanta native, and DMV has shown me so much love. I'm so excited. D.C. is where it's at. Like, after Atlanta, I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm really stoked for D.C. Like, I said, we have to go this year. We didn't go last year. I was like, we have to go.
So what's the date?
Saturday, September 16, 2023, from about 10 a.m. to whenever they kick us out. Basically, let's just be honest about the situation. And I already know like a lot of people already got their tickets because DC shows love. Like that's just what they do.
That's what's up.
Not to blow DC's head up, but it's about to be lit.
It's a vibe.
Can I just say, here's the deal with Shades of Marketing. I get this question every Shades of Marketing, and this is going to be our 4th one. I can't believe it's already the 4th one. But yes, we have speakers. Yes, we have this all Black, crowd, Black speakers, all of that. Sometimes we have sponsors that come in, corporate sponsors who are looking to hire. Sometimes people know audience are looking to hire. But can I just say for the record, we have real brunch, not hors d'oeuvres, not appetizers.
We have
real
good food.
brunch.
So that's my criteria for going, right? Like that's the only reason why I'm really
it's my criteria
there.
to go.
Besides, I like to meet the people and I like to get the knowledge and the nuggets. That's great. Like I'm always trying to sharpen my iron with other iron. And that's exactly what I get to do. But the real reason, guys, in Houston, we had diabetes sweet tea with the brunch. It was amazing. We had full plates of all the good Southern
it was so good.
food. We had fried chicken, like good fried, like somebody Black grandma with an iron skillet. You hear me? Listen, it was so good. But then in LA, these health nuts. But that waffle and that chicken and waffle was really good. People are going to think we're always having chicken and waffles. That's not always what we're having.
But we have vegan foods too.
Yes, because Natalie don't eat meat. So, which I don't even understand. Like, then another reason why I struggle to feed her. But this is the thing. I'm like, can't you just eat the bacon? But no, like, the bacon be at the Shades of Marketing. Listen, you know how we like the brunch.
And then we have mimosas. And
baby,
depending on the stop, we sometimes have a full open
juice.
bar. Like,
listen, I had pineapple juice mimosa. I had orange juice mimosa. And I ain't even supposed to be drinking because of my little alcohol allergy. But I did at the Shades of Marketing. Woo, woo.
Okay, we know now to have a nurse on staff and EMT on staff.
No, it's just this little... I didn't break out this time. So that's good. I'm doing good. Yay!
BMAA does not support or condone anyone eating or consuming things that has allergies for you. However, I will say my motto is, why brunch normal when you can brunch with BMAA?
Listen.
Like brunch with us.
Brunch with us. Come out
sit with us. Come sit with us.
I got to talk to everybody. And so guys, one of the things is like we curate this event. Mm-hmm. So it is intimate. It's for us, by us. The networking is off the chain, and it's really helping us be better at our craft and learning more about our craft, because marketing is the umbrella. There's so much richness underneath there that people do. And I love learning about all the different types of marketers, types of marketing, all the things. So Natalie, kudos to you for curating these awesome events for our community. And I think I got a code. I got a couple of them. I got a code. Listen, capital Trill MBA is the code. So if you use the code, you get a discount. Also, I'll be giving a workshop for VIP Plus members that are trying to level up in their career. So if you want to win at work and you're in the DC area and you want to get this workshop, I'm telling you, it will be a game changer for you. Whether you want to get promoted at your job or you want another company, company to promote you. Listen, you need to come out to the Shades of Marketing in DC, September 16th, guys, and use the code TrillMBA when you register. The link will be in the show notes. Guys, I can't wait to see you in DC. Now let's get back to the show. Now we're going to fast forward. So you've been getting coaching from me. I've been trying to help you get this promotion, right? And I've been telling you, okay, well, you got to talk to your manager like this, and you got to say this. And then let's talk about your relationships. Are you calling these people? Because you work remote. So now you got to do more work. And you were doing the things. You really, really were. And you would come back and you'd tell me what that fool, your manager, would tell you. And I'd be like, oh, that fool is fooling. That don't make sense. Oh, he was being foolish, goat. That's when my Nigerian kick in. So now let's talk about what had happened, girl. How did it go down? So you found out you weren't going to get promoted.
Right.
And then you were like, I don't understand why, because I did all the things y'all been telling me to do this, y'all been telling me to do that. And then you found out you weren't getting promoted, and then what had happened?
So let's just back up for 2 seconds. I talked because I was told that before your 100 days or 90 days are over, we will start talking about your career goals. I, again, said I want to be promoted. I don't want to make lateral moves. I don't want to go elsewhere. And I say all this because this isn't a secret. So when this happens later on in the story, you'll be like, well, she said this like 10 times. Like, you all know I want to be promoted, so then my company knows. And so we start a promotion plan, which means essentially writing down on paper the things that would need to take place. Now, let's just give a little background, a little caveat. It was an employee market. One of my right hands, she knows who she is, left the company. So I missed that person. And some of that work came to me. They didn't backfill her role immediately. They had a temporary contractor. It was a mess. So I ended up having to pick up that slack. I had to pick up some slack for, other countries because they didn't have people, because they lost people on their team. So I'm picking up all this slack. And it's like, okay, well, you know what? We're focusing on this right now. We have you doing all these multiple different things. Then eventually they say, we're going to get you help. But this person who's going to give you help is entry level. She just graduated from college, which means you're going to have to train her. And I understand you're basically overworked, but if you train her now, it'll help you long term. Fine, whatever, suck it up. So the conference is in September, right? Around the time it's like, okay, we're going to talk about promotion, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. My manager's out, kind of, sort of, has been out for a minute. And I don't know the time frame in which people get promoted, which is annoying because I think you should probably be more transparent about it. Yes, everyone's going to want a promotion, but stop making it easy for yourself. Just be transparent. If that's one of your values, which it is, by the way, be transparent about that so people know. We go to this conference. I do a kick-ass job. I sit on a meeting with the potential, client. I see your VP's there. He emails me. He's like, oh my gosh, you did amazing in that meeting. And I'm like, okay, thank you. He's like, I'm afraid I'm going to lose you to sales. You did so well. And I was like, I'm not a salesperson. I'm a marketer, whatever. And while my manager's out, they announce promotions after the conference. I'm not on the list, but my team member is on the list. And I'm like, wait a minute.
The one you trained?
No.
Oh.
This is a senior employee. The one I trained just got here like a month or two ago. So this is now October. So conference is in September. So August trained her. Conference September. October is promotion time, I guess, or what have you. So you're
killing the game, burning yourself, candle at both ends.
Basically burning the hell out almost. Right. And I will admit, I burned out from this job. It was pretty bad. And my team member, who deserves it, got a promotion. But I'm like, okay, so where is mine?
Right.
My manager comes back and says, I meant to talk to you before it got out about promotions. Yeah, I put you up for it, but you didn't quite get it. And I'm kind of like, okay. So my manager is just kind of like, well, let's work on it. Here are some things we need to do. So we go back to the promotion plan and say, if you do X, Y, Z, I'm pretty sure you'll get it this time. Those XYZ things are going on. I build all this plans out. I share this with the person I'm training, and then it's time for the next round of promotions. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I didn't get it. Mm-hmm. And then I'm confused.
And what time frame is this?
Now in January.
Okay, this is January.
But I was also told, you know what? They're not really promoting a lot of people. They're changing the timelines, which I didn't know the original one. So knowing the new one is going to be harder. Once I finally start being like, okay, are they doing every quarter? Are they doing this time frame? When are they doing promotions? Whatever. Didn't get it. Now, the funny part about the story is I share this with the person I train. And she said, but I thought that if you did X, Y, Z, the same thing that was in writing, you will be great for the promotion. I said, so I'm not crazy.
No.
She was like, no, you talked to me. You have it in writing. It was a conversation. I remember it. I said, I thought I did too. Okay, so I'm not crazy. Got it. So this is probably like the second time, like up for promotion or have you? So then there's another time, all of this other stuff. And it's just like, okay, now is right about time for promotion. again. This is the final straw for me. In my mind, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get one. But I was told, send me some information about all these projects you've done. I need more impact. I need more this. I need more that. When I get asked for this information, I'm going on vacation with my boyfriend. So I'm not in the office. Had I been asked the week earlier, I probably would have had it. Now, did he mention it before? Sure. But when he gets to the details that he needs, I'm not in the office. So I'm rambling, trying to do it the last second. He's like, I don't really think that, leadership will approve it, blah, blah, blah. But I'll put you up anyway. So this is now my third time. So it's kind of like, okay, it's my third time. You would think, okay, well, finally she's proven herself, or get some concrete feedback to say, do X, Y, Z, and then you can get it. That's not what transpired. This is when shit hits the fan, basically. This is when shit really hits the fan.
Tell it.
So basically, I went and got a job offer around this time because I kind of knew something was going to go on. And when I get the job offer, I bring it back to my manager and I said, hey, would this be worth sharing with the company or what have you to see if they will match the offer? Yeah. You should match the offer. He's going out on leave or whatever. And instead of talking to him about, the offer or whatever, matching it, I talked to the VP, his boss's boss. The VP has now decided to just drop a whole bomb on me, which is funny because my line name is Bombshell. But basically, she says to me, they didn't match the offer, which was kind of annoying already. And she explained or asked me, did you know the process for promotions? And I said, no, I don't know the process for promotions. Please tell me. She says,
tell us.
Well, first off, your manager and his manager should be explaining to you all what it means to get promoted. I said, okay. And she said, when it boils down to it, it's up to your manager. And they rank people on their team for who should get the promotion basically the most. So if there's 5 of you all, they rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the person that really needs to go to the next level, et cetera, et cetera. I was told I was at the bottom of my manager's list. I was like, okay. And she said to me, in order for me to get promoted, my manager had to be the one to say, if I get nothing else this year, I need Natalie to be promoted. That's not what happened. When she went back to him and asked him questions, he said, I put her up for promotion, but I don't think she's really at that level yet. I don't think she should be senior manager. Now, mind you, this is the 3rd time I'm being put up. And essentially, this is my first time hearing this. I've never heard this direct feedback per se from my manager. And I don't know exactly what I need to do to be at that level. I'm just now hearing this from a third party. So rightfully, I'm a little pissed.
A little. Well, I probably was more mad than you. I'm going to be honest. Because I was like, what? The entire
I think you were probably more mad because for me, I had an offer and it wasn't matched. Fair. So I was already 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
But he been lying to you.
Yeah, I've been lying.
This whole fucking time. On top of you were doing his work when he was out with his situations. Wow. So the most important thing that we have to learn today is that your managers will lie to you.
Yeah.
Straight up in your face. They will be on the play.
And just for the record, I did ask him about it. And of course he said no. I said, he was asking me about matching the offer in the 7th and all this other stuff. And he talks a lot. So I just let him talk. Then he said, what do you think about all of this? I said, I only got one question for you. Why did I not get promoted? And he was like, I told you, I don't know. He always says that, I don't know. And I said, are you sure? Because I already know the answer.
Right.
Are you sure? Well, yeah, I don't, where are you getting at? And I was like, I was told the reason I was not promoted was because of you. Well, I put you up for promotion. I said, I was told you ranked me. Well, I don't rank. There are no rankings. I said, that's not what was said to me.
So either you lying or they lying. Which one is
Either
it?
way, Natalie's being lied to, and I don't want to play this game with you anymore.
Exactly.
And this is embarrassing to say, but not really. And basically, while we're doing this tap dance, I say, you know what? This is too messy. I do not like messiness in my life, let alone in my professional life. This is very unprofessional. And with that said, this fine as my 2-week notice. I reject this sad match of an offer that you all did that still came in several thousands of dollars, plural, short. I'm no longer going to be an employee here anymore. I'm just not going to do that. And it is what it is.
Amen.
I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I deserve better. And so I'm going to go get better.
Amen. Amen. And that, my friends, is the most important thing. I deserve better, so I gon' get better, bitch. Yes. Sorry, I got excited.
I mean, and let me just make this clear. I'm not saying that the next place is going to be perfect, and they may not.
You don't know.
However, I will say that at least from the high level, they were doing me better than an organization I had been with for several years. So if I have to leave an organization to start over elsewhere, I'd rather do that because clearly my time, my talent did not matter to the organization enough for them to fight for me enough to stay. The words of saying, we really, really want you to stay, here's what we can offer was not enough. And even if, let's just say, best case scenario, they matched with money or exceeded, right? Which they wouldn't. I will say the main reason why I left was one, I just did not feel like I could trust my manager anymore. And there was no way I was going to continue to work for that person. It just wasn't going to happen for me. I did not trust this person to take me to the next level in my career, which was the icing or the cherry on top. He got promoted. So while I was fighting for promotions,
he was working on his own because that's what he cared about. And how'd he get promoted? What work was he doing? Because he wasn't really there.
I will say I was insulted when I saw in writing, which, by the way, at this point, I had turned in my notice, of course, like I said. And he did not ever talk to me about his promotion at all. I had to find out through another colleague that he got promoted. And when I saw the writing of what they said, why he got promoted, it was a lot of my and my colleagues' work. So that was even more insulting to where I was like, wait a minute. So the program I helped build, the program that I basically run, you're getting promoted off of it, but I'm being told I can't go to that next level.
That is egregious. But just for y'all devil's advocates out there.
Just note the devil don't need an advocate.
Right.
He's fine.
But just for y'all motherfuckers out there. Some people will say that, well, your manager gets to take credit for your work. Some people will say that.
Okay.
But a good manager will give you credit for your contribution. Absolutely. And lift as they climb. It's no harm off your back. And in fact, it shows your leadership skills that you can get your directs promoted. So don't do that. That's some bitch ass, fucked up ass shit. And I hope that karma comes for your ass swiftly.
I will say, I think if people want to say the manager can take credit for your work, only if they pushed you to perform. I had experience in this role that my manager did not have. So there was no way that my manager should be taking credit because my manager didn't know that niche like I did. My manager wasn't the one that trained that person to up level or the team would function when he wasn't there. So he couldn't take credit for that because he didn't know that niche of marketing. The people he hired knew. So yes, he got credit for that, for hiring us, but he didn't take us to the next level. And the programs that we built didn't grow necessarily because of his contributions. Sometimes it was stagnant because of it. I had a client I struggled with because of the negotiations he did in the contract. Damn. So I took over the negotiations and said, absolutely not, and got that client to give us more things out of their contract than they did before, working with the renewal and the contracts managers. because I already knew how to work with clients doing that because I had the experience, which is why I should have been promoted from the first place. But it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I literally said to the company, if I asked for a senior marketing manager, I said, do note, my price soon as I leave is going up. I'm not coming back for anything less than director, so don't call me.
Amen.
Unless you want to have a conversation about a director role.
So you're saying you would go back?
It really depends. First, I would not go back to report to that manager.
Amen.
I could never do
asshole.
that. I just couldn't
You
do
a
it.
lying asshole. Somebody send this to him and let him know I'm talking to you. You know who you are. You liar.
However, the senior VP is a dream to work for. He hit me up after I left the organization. I'm assuming he found out that I was gone, of course, and sent me a wonderful message and just said, if you need anything in the future, please let me know.
See, that's the person you need. Now, let's schedule this quarterly coffee chat via Zoom. Let's stay in touch.
Absolutely. And
Yes.
that's what would get me to come back. But I foresee that I would have to tell him, I'm not reporting to anyone but you. So even though my manager's manager, however levels, wasn't directly in like the issue, I guess, and said she didn't know or what have you, I still would want to be with someone who has directly reached out to me because the senior VP didn't have to.
Yeah.
At all. The VP didn't really reach out to me ever. The VP only reached out when she needed something like some data and stuff like that. And she knew I was busting my butt and would say, well, they should be telling you these things. But instead of you saying they should be telling me, you should be telling me.
But not just that. Like, if you're coming to, you're 2 up or 1 up, and then you're like, well, no, my manager's not communicating these things to me, then there should be a conversation had with my direct, like if I'm the SVP or VP, then I'm having a conversation with the director or the senior manager that's not giving the information and saying, what's the deal here? We're having a conversation. And that's where I can't discern whether these two mofos are in cahoots together or not. Right? Who lying? Who telling the truth? Some of y'all are full of shit.
And that's why I said I can't do either one, which is why I said if I go back, it wouldn't be with that team. It just couldn't be that team. It couldn't be that group of people. Like the senior VP is who I would trust. It would have to be probably new people that I would have to build a relationship with, which I think is more than fair given how I was burned. And I have a feeling that senior VP, we start doing those coffee chats, he's going to ask, why did you leave? Tell me the truth.
Yeah.
You're not here anymore. Let it out.
And I'm going to tell you my truth. I'm going to tell you, I don't know why, I don't understand the rationale, but my then manager lied to me about the promotion process, and he kept stringing me along saying he didn't understand why I wasn't promoted. And then I found out that I wasn't promoted because he kept saying I wasn't ready, even though I was doing the work that he was taking credit for. So therefore, in conclusion, I had to leave.
Pretty much. So my manager said to me, he hopes I come back. And he said, I hope you stay open. And I'm like, sure. Because I never say no to things because you never...
Well, you don't want to burn bridges. But I'm definitely over here giving, like, we started doing video, and so we're video recording this, and I'm giving the finger. That's what I'm doing.
And I mean, I don't want to burn bridges, but also because I understand people are human. I'm a Christian woman, so I'm working on my whole getting right with the Lord so I can go to heaven one day when that time comes. So I'm working on it. It's a lot of work.
Good for you.
But I will say, like, for me, it's more selfishly, not just Christian-y, because I'm not perfect. It's more like, at the end of the day, is there an opportunity where it would be like, well, maybe you won't work under him. Will he work under you? And I said, I wouldn't say no.
I could see it.
I wouldn't say no. And I said, I would really probably not be petty. I would just have higher standards and say, you're going to have to prove to me that after all that work and all that drama that you deserve the titles you got. And you didn't. So it's now time to make up for so many years ago of crap that was done. And I highly doubt that that person would ever report to me, but who knows?
And listen, but here's the thing. You never know what's going to happen.
Fair.
Let me share. Yes, that's me. I'm fair. Yes. Let me show you this text message I got today from a friend of mine. Because that's why I tell people, be careful when you mess with the child of God.
Mm-hmm.
So my friend says, "Psst, do you know if blank blank from a company I've worked for, is this person a person of color?" I said, no, they white and I can't stand them. I can't stand their ass. That's what I said. And then they said, LOL, I love you. And I said, yeah, it's this person. And here's their LinkedIn just to make sure. And then this person said, yeah, I'm working on a VP role and somebody recommended this person. And I said, don't do it. And I be telling people all the time, you might not want to mess with this one. Because there's so many times that happens.
Yeah.
So many times. And there's very few people on my bad side. Very, very few people on my bad side. But there are particular people who I've had to work with that mistreated me. And there are people who I reported into that mistreated me. And the karma comes back. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm going to be the catalyst for that person not getting that role. But doesn't it suck when they undercover checking the Carfax and I get to weigh in? That sucks for you. But here's the deal. Very rarely is anybody going to be calling y'all about me. You know why? Because I orchestrate who I get to talk to who when I'm networking for jobs. So I'm very strategic about how I move in these corporate streets. And I want you to be too. But understand, you want to leave people feeling good. And even when I don't like somebody, unless they publicly try to embarrass me, which that's what happened, or try to talk crazy or lie in public, and then it's going to be very obvious. We're going to get with the get right over the Zoom. And then you can hate me if you want to, and I'll take that L. But I mean, I got documentation. Let me stop before I tell too much. Here's the deal. Don't try me, try Jesus.
I knew he was going to say that.
Okay? And don't try your Black coworkers, because here's the beautiful thing about diversity. Eventually, you're going to mistreat your Black coworker.
Yep.
And then eventually, because there's 5 Black people in corporate America, eventually you're going to run up into their friends.
Yep. Because there's only like 5 of us.
It's only 5.
And we all starting to know each other.
And we all know each other. Just be very clear. So you white people that listen to this show, hopefully you learn and tell your little friends, okay? You better start treating us right, or you're going to be affected in ways that you'll never know. You'll never know. Okay. Now, if you need some help or advice about a specific situation, go to trilliumba.com/coaching to schedule a 45-minute consultation with me to strategize and walk through your specific work situation. Especially if it's something like, hey, I don't understand why I can't get promoted even after I got a whole ass promotion plan. In addition, you can always email us at ask@trilliumba.com. I'm happy to either answer your question or connect you to the right person if I don't have the answer. And that person very well could be Natalie, the president of Black Marketers Association of America. Again, that's trilliumba.com/coaching to schedule a 45-minute consultation with me, or you can email us at ask@trilliumba.com to submit your question or concern. Natalie, thank you for coming on the show and keeping it trill. I think your story is a testimony that a lot of people are going to hear, and they're going to be like, oh shit, I think my boss is lying to me. Let me do more digging and investigating so I can get to the truth of the matter. But in the meantime, companies are like buses. When one starts acting a fool and you miss it, then you just wait for the next one's coming in the next 10 minutes. Okay? Okay. So do your due diligence, keep your resume ready, and keep having those conversations and building your network. And that way you can avoid some of the pitfalls of working with corporate America. Any last words, Natalie, before we get out of here?
I mean, for people listening, first, to address Black professionals, yes, sometimes you're being lied to. Don't stress over it. There's nothing you can do about it. If anyone who works at that place knows I'm talking about them, this isn't really a space for me to be like, oh, I'm just trying to call this organization out. It's not even for any of y'all. Quite frankly, you hear it, move on with your life. It's not for you. This content is for the Black professionals that need the story. So move on. Don't take it personal, because quite frankly, I wasn't thinking about you. Because it wasn't done for you, I wasn't going to say anything, but I have to remember as the president of BMAA that I'm serving my community. And even if that means making myself uncomfortable as well as people who did things about me uncomfortable, I'm gonna do it. And I encourage other people to continue speaking, because how the hell are we gonna solve this problem if we all just sit around and keep talking in one-on-one conversations? Just speak up and then speak out, ask those questions. Go to trillandba.com/coaching or go to blackmarketers.org.
Yes, go to blackmarketers.org. Join BMAA if you're a marketer. I'm telling you, it's a wonderful place to get all kinds of information and build your network in this community. So with all of that said, guys, thank you, Natalie, for agreeing to tell your story and share. And we're taking those nuggets and we're going to be looking out for the red flags. And if you're in our Patreon, you will get to see the video, the whole video, and all my facial expressions.
Maybe some bloopers.
And the bloopers. Yeah, you probably see that too. So again, guys, have a great week. You're going to kill it. You're going to do great things. And above all else, I'm going to stay Black over here for all of us. And I'm going to keep it trill. So until next week, guys, love you. See you later. Peace. The Trill and BA Show is a Fair World Corp LLC production. Executive produced by Felicia and Rose Inuha. Sound design and editing by Chris Mann with Podshaper. Theme music is Kick Push by Brian Little. Keep it trill every day, y'all.